My little hands was shaking.
Oh, yes, we're back again. We're back again. We're going to discuss a good topic today. This is going to be a spinoff conversation from one of our segments on the New Normal podcast. Make sure you follow and like and subscribe to that channel. Bring you dope content with some dope visuals and some dope guests. This is going to be discussing the forever girlfriend. There's a epidemic going on in the dating realm, as we've discussed many, many times. You've seen the gender war on its head. It is now still ongoing because there has been a lot of poison that has been intentionally put into the males of our women. If you notice, the standards of the men really has not changed. You don't even really have men saying they want virgin wives anymore. So we've actually adjusted. And in ideal time, you have women fighting you tooth and nail to tell you or to convince you, to show you virgins are even a thing. So where does that shows their moral compass is? Where does that show the standard has went? Where you have women fighting saying that there's no such thing as virgins. Every woman is having sex out of wedlock. So normally a virgin would be a wife out of the gate. Those are the women who would get married. And you can trace this back. And you can see this in other countries. You look at Russia. And from what I've understood and researched, Russia does not have a community of baby mothers. If you have a child with a man and you do something to get out of pocket and you do not marry him, you're shit out of luck. There won't be any government assistance. There won't be any WIC. There won't be any Medicaid. There won't be any child support. You see? So the poison is on the woman. Now, you can say that the generation of men has, let's say, maybe declined due to the households in which the men have come from, the environments in which these men have come from due to what? The women being poisoned and taking the poison because it was a choice. When Uncle Sam went to the woman and said, hey, we'll give you housing and benefits and WIC and insurance, you just can't have a man present, they jumped on board versus saying, you know what, I'm good. Versus saying, you know what, I'd rather not. I'd rather work it out. Because when you look at the black family, the American family before the civil rights, before the 1960s, you had a high marital rate. The two-parent household was not uncommon unless you had men that died at war, which is not the same as you just willy-nilly having a child that you're with a man you're not married to. So what has developed or what has been created out of those dynamics is the forever girlfriend, the girl that jumps man to man, and the girl who has all of these unrealistic expectations and entitlements as to what she deserves because she gets older. So when a woman ages, you notice women like to hide and mask their age. I was looking at a clip on Fresh and Fit. Shout out to them, as I always give kudos to those who have, set the tone and who have, created a space and created many opportunities for themselves and for others to flourish. So we will give them kudos. When you look at the segment, it's a segment where a woman was 34 and she lied on air, telling the world she's 25. So you always have to ask these women, say, well, I get better as I get age. I'm fine. Well, why do so many women lie? You go on your Facebook page and go to the women's bio and see, does it have the date, the year, the month, the date, and the year behind it, or just the month and the date? They're not going to put the year they was born. They're going to hide it because they know their beauty rests in their age. This is why they go great lengths to hide it. And this woman was kicked off the show simply by lying. And the chat found her page and said, this woman is not 25. And you can look at her and tell she's not 25. So I say that to say this: when you look at women's standard, when you line women up and they have the same exact standards, I can guarantee they have the same story. They have the same complaints about men. and the same history with men. Guaranteed. So again, what they created or made themselves out to be is the forever girlfriend. Just like a lot of men are not built to be husbands. I fight with this battle myself, just due to my background and what I've witnessed firsthand and what I've experienced as being the side guy many a times. Looking at my friends deal with the women who on Facebook and Instagram have these happy marriages, but off of Facebook fucking with both pants, with both legs out of the pants. And think we don't know. So it is a battle. And it is a choice that must be made from a logical perspective, not a physical, external. It's no longer how her beauty looks, is how does she apply it. I think my guy Goldie said beauty is as beauty does. How are you fine in this and that, but your behavior doesn't reflect such. Your attitude is shitty. So we'll be your boyfriend. We'll play the boyfriend girlfriend game. And I advise men, don't even play that. But that's just a title that women will come up when inquiries come about. So what are you guys? What are you doing? This is my boyfriend. No, you're not. You're laying up, fucking, and going out to eat in an occasional trip out of town. You're not investing. You're not pooling any money together to get a property. You're not pooling money together to invest and start a business, to create a source of income that would alleviate the whole 50-50 conversation. Because this makes too much sense to the woman. She thinks she's supposed to just come as she is, with all of the baggage, all of the bodies, all of the babies, and complain about men not covering her 100%, when if you, in your earlier years, you had a man who had a vision and you didn't get in the trenches with him, could have created an avenue which will take your financial burdens off of the table. And you could focus on living your best lives together. But when women, you got to understand the effort that women put into looking to part. That exhausts the woman. Sleeping around, having to run over here. I got to go do this, all while trying to work and stay abreast of what's taking place in the social circles, what's taking place amongst her friends. She doesn't want to make that time to really get in the trenches and work and build something that she can pass down, or that her and her husband can pass down to their children and grandchildren. See, when it comes to the male and particularly the modern dating dynamic, women just say, I'm just going to show up and you do the rest. You do the heavy lifting, because they want to have a story and a braggadocious bravado to their friends that they don't have to do shit. The man does it all. Now you're seeing the post float around. It's good having him. I love having my man. He has money. I don't have to pay for things and all of this. This is a bragging right to a woman. But the fool, see, we have to get into the fabric of the game. A lot of men believe they are doing something of great feats when they cover a woman 100%. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, but you must ask yourself one question. What type of woman do I have that's working and has is gainfully employed like I am, or whatever the case may be, who would really sit back and watch me pay every damn bill in this house? What type of woman do I have that'll just watch and sit back, and when it don't work, she'll leave, asking for half of what she didn't even invest or put anything on or into? What type of woman do you have? So a lot of men try to use that as a masculine advantage, or they try to use it as a perk that comes with them. I pay everything. My girl don't touch a bill. That's because you don't have that sauce to where a woman would bring you fruits. Oh, we're going to talk heavy today. Shout out to my guy, Minister Jeff. See, a lot of men haven't had women to go out of their way to make sure they're straight. They always had to do the pursuing. They never had that appeal, that charisma that a woman would go out of their way. And I mentioned on the podcast that he asked me, would I let a woman propose to me? And I said, yes. Oh, she would. She can absolutely propose to me. The thing is, a lot of women make the grave mistake by doing it on camera and making themselves to be a dumbass on camera, because you want to show the world you're taking the steps to get into a marriage when it should be me doing that for you. So when you set yourself up and you want the cameras to roll, we're gonna play it out. I'm not gonna tell you to get up. I'm not gonna tell you to stop. I'm gonna let you go with the move. Because what's gonna happen, she's gonna see the critiques and the response in most cases. Again, this is in most cases. She'll see the critiques and the response in the comments, and she'll feel shitty, which is going to sabotage our relationship anyway, because that commentary, because she's doing it for the gram, therefore she's going to go to the gram to see who validated or invalidated it. So that's going to kill her self-esteem out, which is ultimately going to spill over into our relationship anyway. And then you'll go back to being the forever girlfriend. Wash, rinse, and repeat. And I use this clip of Jim Jones and Chrissy just for that reason. And you see Alpo in the shadows because they're from the same area, Alpo and Jim Jones. And there's, Alpo alleged that he, had Chrissy in his splendor because she's older than him, I believe. And he alleged that he's been with Chrissy. So Jim Jones is like, why would I, marry a woman who slept with the ops? Because I think he runs with Mano, and Mano is some kin to a guy that Alpo had unalived by the name of Demencio. If you're familiar with that whole story, you can go check it out. It's a pretty interesting story. Paid in full. I'm sure you're familiar with that. So Jim Jones said, baby, we're good where we are. But women make the grave mistake of thinking they're going to push the envelope forward and the man is going to be all with it, and it's not going to go that way. And I was speaking to my guy and I said, a lot of women come to men and they come with this conversation after dealing with him for a few months or a year or so or a few years and say, what are we doing? And I said, well, that's the same as you asking me for my hand in marriage, or you're asking me for a firm commitment. No different than if you were working at a job and you were a temp agent. You went through a temp agency and this position was given to you as a temp to permanent, as most temp agencies operate in a lot of spaces. So if you've been working with this company 2 years and you see other people around you getting hired full time, and you go to the boss and say, hey, I see Jack and Jill and John have been hired full time. What about me? You're inadvertently or indirectly asking for a full-time position. You're not asking for clarity because the clarity has already been given to you. Because you have not been hired full-time. You've been a forever girlfriend. And at that point is when they say, well, I'm going to leave. At this point, okay, well, my best wishes to you. And you're going to go and start over from scratch with another company, or you may look up and get on with the full-time job, which may not be paying a fraction of what I'm paying. You see, a lot of women think they have all of this autonomy and say-so in these relationships when you only have control over the sex and childbirth. It's the only thing you have control over, ma'am. I hate to break it that way, but that is what it is. So you see these women getting on one knee now, proposing to their men, making utter fools of themselves. Now, again, if this is in private, it's between you two, and that conversation is had, hey, we won't know. So we wouldn't have any opinion on it now, would we? But we know attention is a social currency, and so is marriage. So you go out of your way to put it on the gram, to put it on the book, to put it on TikTok, only for it to blow up in your face, and then you resent men afterwards for you making a damn fool of your own self. But the forever girlfriend, again, if a man is going to marry you, you can tell. And sometimes you can't. But your behavior is a key indicator. How are you operating in the relationship? What are you achieving together? Because achievement strengthens the commitment. I'll say that again. Achievement strengthens the commitment, the investment, and the bond between two people or a group of people. we're together and we come to you with ideas and say, hey, we're going to do this. The first one flop. Oh, I'm all the way out. That didn't go right. Everything is not going to go right. Everything is not going to go the way you see it or the way you've been lied to on Instagram and Facebook. It's not. So you'll be with a man 2, 3 years, 4 or 5 years, and then up and leave 10 years, 15 years, and put yourself back on the dating market older, with more baggage, with higher expectations. But the choice is ultimately yours, ladies. But again, there are slots, and there is a thing called the forever girlfriend. You'll know if you're that one. But you guys let me know what you think about this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's the Day Master.